Estoy muy contenta de estar aquí con ustedes. Es mi primera visita a la América Latina. Me alegro de ver tantas personas de muchos países. Muchas gracias por su participación hoy. Ahora, inglés. Eyewitness identification. This morning we talked about credibility assessment, and now it flows right into eyewitness identification. I'm hoping to have an interactive presentation. I've incorporated some activities into the PowerPoint, and I'm really hoping that you're going to participate with me. And we're trying some new technology that I don't know is going to work here, but if it doesn't work, we have a plan B. So what we're going to do now is hand out some clickers, and we're going to ask you not to touch them until a certain point in the PowerPoint, and then I will ask you a question, and I will ask you to select one of the numbers on your clicker to indicate your answer. So if that works, it will be great, and if it doesn't work, we have Justice Rosenberg, who is just as great or even better, who will indicate up on the whiteboard by show of hands. So we have a plan A and a plan B.
Importante, no nos toquen, ni cliquen, ni se pongan a jugar mientras no ella le dé la indicación, porque si no, toda la tecnología se echa a perder, ¿no? Nada, andar toqueteando y manoseando.
Gracias.
Yo quiero mi clicker. Me lo voy a llevar.
¿Me lo puedo llevar para copiar el coche?
Totalmente está aquí.
Ay, sí, por Dios.
4D más 5.
Es que miren eso, que era puesto ahí.
Okay, I think we're ready to begin. There is nothing more convincing than a live human being who takes the stand, who points a finger at the defendant and says, "That's the one." The evidence of an eyewitness can be very, very powerful. But as we will see today, there are many frailties and there are many problems associated with this evidence. It has resulted in some serious miscarriages of justice and wrongful convictions. But the key is, how do we make this evidence as reliable as possible? So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about what is known about eyewitness identification. How do we make accurate identifications? How do we know we make mistakes? What can we do to avoid the mistakes? And finally, what can we do to improve the system? So how do we make accurate identifications? Some of the key points in eyewitness identification. It is not only important for the apprehension of criminals, but also in exonerating innocent suspects. And I think the latter part is perhaps a part that we don't think of that often. We always think of it as using it to apprehend a criminal, but not to exonerate an innocent person. People often believe there is no motive for a bystander to lie. And so therefore the testimony must be highly persuasive. Because why would an innocent person, or just a person walking down the street, why would they lie about something that they saw? And it's important to remember that eyewitness testimony is the witness's impression of what they think they saw, as opposed to a definite of what they actually saw. Even an honest witness can make a mistake, though they may actually believe that they're telling the truth. So we need to distinguish the recognition from the guesswork. Accurate ID is a matter of recognition. It should not be determined by a process of elimination. It might be this guy, no, I think it's this guy, no, it looks sort of like this guy, it's definitely this guy. It has to be an instant recognition. And we're going to talk about that further in the presentation, and I'm also going to talk about how a witness who initially was hesitant in her selection of the culprit, you'll notice that by the time he or she gets to trial, she could be very, very confident in her selection because there's been a lot of feedback or a lot of interaction along the way, and that can influence the witness's perception. So the challenge for the court is to try to determine when some of these out-of-court procedures have led to guesswork. Let's make the evidence as reliable as possible. But there are many, many variables that are beyond the control of the court or the investigator, beyond anything that we can do, but there are many that are within our control. And the key is to figure out the ones that are within, to know about the ones that are not in our control, so we can be cognizant of it, but to recognize the ones that we can control and try to figure out what we can do better. Are there guidelines we can follow? Are there better procedures? Are there better things that we should be aware of? And oftentimes it's difficult for a witness to recall all the details of an event or the number of times an incident occurred. So what I'm going to do now is the first interactive piece. I'm going to show you a short video clip. It's about 1 minute. And I'm just going to ask you to watch it and to listen and to do as you were asked to do. So if you will participate, you'll do the first part of our fun session.
Agarramos. Todavía no.